look at Columbus Circle, gateway to the gentrified Upper West Side on a bustling Friday night in Manhattan. In this city, you can find someone from nearly every country on Earth. And tonight, we are in the shadows of the Twin Towers, docked at the Harborside Financial Center on the Jersey side of the Hudson River, with the sunset cooperating to help us provide you yet another spectacular picture of the city that never sleeps, never stops, never slows down even for a second. Welcome back to the Skyline Princess. Good evening, I'm Jim Lampley, and welcome again to the Superstation's coverage of the 4th Goodwill Games. Let's turn our attention to the nation which has now for more than 2 decades been the dominant national power in the sport of figure skating. Entering tonight's pairs free skate, Yelena Bereznaya and Anton Sigralitze lead their Russian rink mates Oksana Kosakova and Artur Dmitriev. And in the men's competition, Alexei Urmanov and Yevgeny Plushenko lurk dangerously behind the leader after the short program, American Todd Eldridge. All 6 of those Russian skaters have been nurtured on the same ice by the same teachings. St. Petersburg has long been the center of Russian culture, literature, art, and for decades, the golden goose of Russian figure skating. From the Protopopovs to Kosakova and Dmitriev, those skating out of this city have owned a near birthright to Olympic glory. Yet that glory was the product of Soviet ambition. And as the old guards try to protect their legacy, they wonder if these faces will ever be seen by the world.
For the children, things are very different now. The state used to take care of everything: food, costumes, travel, ice time. And as coaches, we got to choose from hundreds. Everybody wanted to do this sport. Now parents have to pay, and not that many can afford it. So our selection is not so good.
Igor Moskvin belongs to the last bastion of coaches here at the Yubileyny School in St. Petersburg. His wife and former student Tamara Moskvina coaches alongside him, as does her former partner, Alexei Mishin. In 1967, these 3 coronated the Yubileyny School, and from it sprung champions of their making, such as 1994 Olympic gold medalist Alexei Urmanov. It was a palace of talent, which now crumbles before their eyes.
The conditions here are, to put it mildly, not very good. Sometimes they turn off the central heat or pour ice-cold water on the rink. It's just terrible.
Now coaches are flocking to other countries, better conditions in the West, draining St. Petersburg of its best resources.
Most of my former skaters, they became coaches in the States because marketed their salary or their money there. There is no work here.
I don't blame these young people for leaving. They feel no obligation. They didn't live through the war or the seizure of the city or endure the post-war hardships. They don't have an anchor like me and Tamara and Mishin. We are the old regime. We feel connected.
For these icons of sport, it is clearly not a question of should I stay or should I go. The dilemma is how to stay without letting go. How to nourish the Russian ideology of sport, which separates them and their students from the rest of the world.
In Russia, the tradition was that we not only give lessons in skating, but we give lessons how to behave, how to perform, how to be dressed. We instruct the skaters in many fields that are connected with skating.
They all begin with ballet, a skill that has become a Russian trademark. Elegance, presence, grace, and form. These 5-year-olds are in their 2nd year. They know they must learn ballet before they can skate like champions, like Russian champions.
I taught Alexei Urmanov when he was just a child, and Oksana Kosakova. I gave them all the right idea about choreography, but the situation has changed dramatically. I don't always get my salary, and what I get is very little. My classes are smaller too. Only children whose parents can afford it can be taught correctly.
Parents are required to pay for lessons until their child reaches 6 years old. At that time, if the child is talented, the school will pick up expenses. Many criticize this system, claiming that future superstars will fall through the cracks.
The truly talented will not fall through the cracks here. If we see a talent like Plushenko, we do everything we can to keep him. We brought Plushenko here from Volgograd, and we have supported him ever since. His rent, his food, his travel, all of it.
Yubileyny will support athletes like 15-year-old Yevgeny Plushenko to encourage coaches like Mishin to stay. But the school will also ask athletes to sign contracts, which ask for a future return on the school's investment, along with a promise that they won't leave Yubileyny without careful consideration. This is a new generation of athlete, a negotiating business class.
As long as coaches like Tamara, Mishin, and myself work here, we will continue to turn out great champions. As soon as we leave, it will stop.
Somebody will take this place after me. So if, let's say, I won't work as a coach anymore, there will be another coach who will replace me and who will also work.
The coaches know that the eyes of these Russian children will look for sponsors, not for social servitude. They will feel not the weight of totalitarianism, but the heaviness that painful options bring. Most likely, they will also feel the honor and the burden of tradition, to skate into the future on blades trained toward old-world perfection. And coming up next, two jewels in the Russian skating crown go head-to-head. The pairs free skate live. We come back. Live in New York on night 13 of the Goodwill Games, a full weekend of sport yet to go. For live coverage of figure skating sponsored by MCI, we head out to Peter Carruthers at the Nassau Coliseum. Peter?
Thank you, Jim Lampley. We're getting ready to kick off an outstanding pairs competition. For on the ice, getting ready to go, Oksana Kozakova and Artur Dmitriev, the Olympic gold medalists, preparing for their free program. They're in second place right now. I'm joined by Rosalind Sumners.
Peter, this is a very passionate, long program. Opening right away with side-by-side triple toe loops. He turns this into a double.
A little bit of pressure may be felt because in first place right now after the short program, their teammates, Berezhnaya and Sitarilidze, are out in front. So they are fighting for the gold here. Rosalind, totally unlike the practices that we saw.
We haven't seen any mistakes. She's a very strong jumper. There was a nice double axel, but she seems to be very unstable in all of her landings. Medal, they unfortunately had to withdraw from the World Championships due to food poisoning, which opened the door for Berezhnaya and Sitarilidze. Tonight is the matchup. Nice throw, triple toe. simple things. They've been on a 70-city tour since the Olympics. They just finished 1 week ago. Didn't give them enough time to train properly.
And Artur Dmitriev was asked, after winning 2 golds and a silver in the Olympics, why should he continue on? And his response was, my partner Oksana is only 23 and she has just begun.
And he's doing it for her. He wants her to have the name and the exposure. They have no plans to retire. He wants to stay competitive. This is the long program that they had in Nagano. Not only does it have the mistakes, but it doesn't seem to have the magic of that night that got them the gold medal. Of the two, Peter, he seems to be looking the most tired.
Well, this is very uncharacteristic for them. First in their group to skate. They are in second after the short program right now. Artur Dmitriev and Oksana Kazakova have experienced such greatness in just the few years that they have been together. However, this was not one of their great moments. We will be back with their scores in just a moment. Stay with us. Back in Long Island, here are the scores for technical merit for Oksana Kazakova and Artur Dmitriev. Not their best performance, a low of 5.2 up to 5.6. Berezhnaya and Sikhairudze still preparing to skate. They'll be next. Here are the presentation scores. And they go from 5.7 to 5.8. If you've just joined us, we are in the middle of the pairs figure skating finals competition. And these two are the leaders right now, Elena Berezhnaya and Anton Sikhairudze, and truly an amazing comeback from a life-threatening injury. If there was ever an amazing comeback, it was with this young lady. For her partner, her then partner, Oleg Shliakov, hit his blade into her head in 1996. She had brain surgery. 2 years later, she was back, and she won the Olympic silver medal this year with this partner, Anton Sikhairudze. And Rosalind Sumner's watching them skate. It seems as though that injury is just forgotten.
And she has said she has completely put it behind her.
Jump.
Turn that into a double. Again, Kazakova and Dmitriev haven't put the pressure on them, but they cannot afford any mistakes. But nice side-by-side double axles into double toe loops.
Remember, these two train with Tamara Vosvina in the same rink as Kazakova and Dmitriev, Yublini rink, that is under construction. and they are going to have to find another training place. So no longer will they skate in St. Petersburg.
Physically, but it's been very exhausting to keep the emotional level going out on the ice. This many months later, after the Olympic Games, they've not had a chance to let down.
Look at the size of that.
It was big, but she just couldn't quite hang on to that landing. Legs seem a little weak tonight. Again, not quite the magic we saw in Nagano, but they have a ethereal quality about their skating. Again, very reminiscent of Ekaterina Gordieva and Sergei Grinkov, even struggling on the unison of the spins tonight.
It's almost as though the two teams that train with Tamara Moskovina, it appears they've spooked each other because they just haven't had good performances.
Both teams respect and admire each other so much. Artur Dmitriev has actually been very helpful with this team, with advice, and yet Berezhnaya and Sikharulidze now have the experience and confidence to beat their teammates, and that's what they want tonight. Was it enough, Peter?
Well, Rosalind, I will not be the judge on that one, for there are judges to make that decision, but in the bottom of my heart, I feel that they had a little bit more speed than Kozakova and Dmitriev. But we are going to have to wait and find that out. And now Berezhnaya and Sikharulidze will see if their first place lead after the short program will hold. So we'll be back for their scores when we return. Well, you're looking at three people who have never left Russia until now. Elena Berezhnaya's mother on the left and Anton Sikharulidze's parents on her left. And this is their first trip to the United States, so they have seen their children compete here at the Goodwill Games. The marks for technical merit, again, not high. A low of 5.5 up to 5.8.
And of course, these marks going up to a 5.9.
And those marks are enough to move them into first place over Kozakova and Dmitriev, with the French team in third at this point. Free program for the pairs figure skating here at the Goodwill Games. Berezhnaya and Sikharulidze are in the lead, but some interesting things could happen, Roz, because the very dynamic Chinese pair team could upset a lot. And we're not going to have to wait long to see what happens because they're on the ice. Shen Shui and Zhao Hongbo of China are third after the short program, so they could really throw a wrench into this. They are amazing to watch. They have so much excitement within the lifts and the throws, and they have improved so much. Fifth at the Olympics.
The door has been opened for them to win. Whoever wins the free skate will do it. Now that's when the pressure can either affect you or you step up to the challenge and you walk through that door. And this team has the strength and the athletic ability to do it.
With moves like that.
Unbelievable heights, and they're going to go right into side-by-side triple toe loops. They've both been skating very strong in practices.
No.
She's missed it. There seems to be a very strange karma in this building tonight. They're not the same skaters we've seen in practices.
All the pairs were very aggressive throughout the practices, but now mistakes occurring throughout. But watch the height on that throw triple loop. Rosalind.
Unbelievable. She's over the board.
Have you ever seen a skater higher in the air?
Never. And he's actually shorter than both Sikirulidze and Dmitriev, and yet he throws her the highest.
Very strange mistakes. We have to consider this, that in 1984 and 1988, the Chinese pair teams placed last at the Olympic Games. So Shen and Zhao have really moved things up, placing fifth at the Olympics. Oh, but
she's not even completing her rotations.
Very odd. Learned a lot of these skills through watching tapes that were brought back into China of Russian pair skaters. And that's how they advanced in a lot of these skills. The same was true in diving. And they have made such tremendous improvement through the years, and now really are a force to be dealt with in pair skating. Well, Shen Shui and Zhao Hongbo have turned in a subpar performance for them. Really, the top teams that we expected to skate well have all made fairly significant mistakes. The leaders right now, Berezhnaya and Sikharulidze from Russia. When we come back, we'll have the Chinese pair team scores.
Bringing you back live from New York with 12 of 14 races now complete in the dual swim meet between the United States men and the Goodwill World Team. The competitive issue no longer in doubt. Goodwill World Team leading the USA 66-39. We'll provide a final result very shortly. Now let's go back to the Nassau County Coliseum, where there is one more pair yet to skate in the pairs competition. Here's Peter Carruthers with Roz Summers.
Thank you, Jim. Well, we do have another pair to skate, but look at Todd Eldridge warming up for the men's finals. I don't think he looks very nervous. What a way to keep it in perspective. And right now, we're back with Shen Shui and Zhao Hongbo from China. They have just had a real tough time on the ice with their free program. Here are the technical merit scores from 5.0 up to 5.7.
I think the 5.0 is right on. There were so many jumps, she didn't even complete the rotation and fell on. The marks for presentation going up. But again, it didn't have the personality and the speed that we saw in the magic at the Olympics of this up-and-coming team.
But that does move them into third place behind Russians Sikharulidze and Berezhnaya, who are in first, and Kazakova, Dmitriev in second. The Chinese are in third, and now it seems as though we're just waiting for a good performance. On the ice, Dorota Zagorska and Mariusz Shudek from Poland finished 10th at the 98 Olympics. They are the four-time Polish champions. Last year, they spent part of their summer training with Radka Kovarchkova and Renee Novotny, the 95 world champions from the Czech Republic. So, hoping some of their expertise will wear off in this, really what presents itself as a great opportunity.
And they have to skate clean to move into third position, which again, another door has been opened. Can they withstand the pressure?
Fourth, after the short program. They've been together since 1994. Nice opening.
She was like landing on a cloud on that throw double axel. Now, if they can just hold this feeling and pace through the program. If side-by-side triple toe loops coming here. Again, little mistakes on the landing. Quite the polish and the finish on the list that we're seeing from the other teams tonight.
No, really, seems as though no pair team has really seized the moment. Poland has never won a world or Olympic medal in pair skating.
Hanging on. There just seems to be not much strength out here tonight.
you say that, Roz, I know what it means, but it really can take over an event, can it?
Feeling in the building from the audience can also be felt when you're out there skating. You need that energy. But first you have to give it to the audience. About the technical content of these programs. If there are so many mistakes made, where do the judges come down to finding the difference?
Well, in the mistakes that are made, at this point, it's like who makes the fewest amount of mistakes. It's really not a good situation to judge at all, and I certainly wouldn't want to be judging.
Do they look at the presentation then? Is that the next place they go?
Again, it goes back to who does the fewest amount of mistakes. Right now, they are in 4th place, so
believe it or not, tonight, so far, the best program we've seen are from the Stieglers, who are not even expected to do anything. Everybody else has been struggling.
Well, Dorota Zagorska and Mariusz Shudak, who are in 4th place after the short program, had a golden opportunity to really skate well and maybe move into the medals, but that is definitely questionable. And Zhao Hongbo had an interesting comment. Actually, he said of the overall competition in pair skating here at the Goodwill Games, he thinks that this is just so early in the season, and right now, everyone's not in their top physical condition. So that's his feeling on the event, and he may be fairly accurate with that, looking at these performances.
Here's the throw triple sow. Watch the ending, just leaning too far forward. She can't hang on to the edge.
They both train in Auschwitz, Poland. And it feels as though this pairs event has really ended without any excitement in the competition whatsoever. Somewhat of a surprise watching the practices. When you go back to the practices and you think about that, people were performing at such high levels, and then to see this, it's kind of a surprise. And here are the technical merit marks for the Polish team from 5.1 to 5.6. Now we'll just have to stand by, see the presentation scores to see what that does for them. If possibly they move into the medals, they're in 4th. The presentation, and yes, that does move them up over Shen Shui and Zhao Hongbo. So there are the final results. Yelena Berezhnaya and Anton Sikorulidze have won the Goodwill Games pairs competition. Their teammates in 2nd. Down to Tiffany Stiegler and Johnny Stiegler in 7th. Right now, Alice Cook is with Artur Dmitriev and Oksana Kazakova. Alice?
Thanks, Peter. Well, Oksana, Artur, it's been such a long season with touring in the Olympics. How difficult was it tonight for you?
You know, it's, of course it's difficult because it's last competition this season and summertime is unusual time for the skaters. But, you know, we have a very good time here and, you know, great feeling about this big competition. And we meet all our friends, all our, you know, friend skaters and, you know, coaches, a lot of people who was here, and we try to do our best, but of course it's difficult.
You have 2 Olympic gold medals. Why do you continue to skate?
I just love skating, just love extreme skating on competition. And of course, Oksana need the name in amateur sport. Now she was Olympic champion, and I'm very happy about this. And I think we try to do in future a lot of interesting program and do interesting part in figure skating.
Okay, we'll look forward to that.
Thank you.
Back to you, Peter.
Thank you, Alice. Well, the pairs event has come to a conclusion. We still have a lot more skating. The men's event is yet to come, so stay with us. Stephen Cousins awaiting his scores, and here they are for technical merit. 4.9 up to 5.2, and then the presentation scores, which he has plenty of, from 4.8 up to 5.4, and that moves him right into third place with Timothy Gable, of course, out in front. And right now you're looking at Yevgeny Pliuta from Ukraine, actually tied with Stephen Cousins after the short program in 7th place. Born and raised in Kiev, third last year in the Ukrainian Nationals behind Vyacheslav Zagorodnik. No quad, and he sprained the ankle last year at the beginning of the season, prohibiting him from trying the quad. But one thing he really does have is a lot of speed in his skating.
Quad plan tonight in the program. However, he opens with a triple axel, triple toe loop combination. Just got a single off. He was right off the heel on that. You have to be over the ball of your foot on an axle takeoff.
Right on that one. 24 years old, from Kiev. One thing he's really got going is the fact that he just moves into his jumps with so much velocity like that it becomes easier to jump in the air, but you've got to stay straight.
Triple loop right after the triple sow count. What impresses me is the jumps move across the ice. You see a lot of skaters that just go straight up. Wonderful strength. His carriage and strength of body position that adds so much in between the triple jumps. Another triple Lutz, and again, these jumps are as strong at the end of the program as they are in the beginning. That's one of the things the judges look for.
He may not possess the quad, but he certainly has a lot of momentum
program delivered with conviction. Very solid.
Yevgeny Plyuta from Ukraine, 7th after the short program. Getting stronger toward the end of his program. We'll get his scores, but right now, let's go back to Alice Cook with someone who's got to be very happy. Alice?
That's absolutely right, Tim Gable. You finally landed that quad in a senior competition. It had to be a great feeling.
Oh, it was. It was absolutely thrilling to do it a second time in competition. I'm very excited.
And the crowd reaction, they knew it was a quad.
Yeah, they knew it was a quad. I was really surprised, and I was impressed that they knew, and I was excited that they knew. They were really behind me for the rest of the program.
Okay, good luck next year. We'll be looking for you. Okay, Peter?
Well, Timothy Gable, our congratulations to you from the broadcast booth. An outstanding job. And now, Yevgeny Plyuta from Ukraine awaits his scores. And really a good performance for Plyuta. As I mentioned, he got stronger. This young man is 24 from Kiev, Ukraine. Born and raised in Kiev. And his mentor really was Vyacheslav Zagorodnik, who was also a big jumper and a very fast skater from the Ukraine. Technical merit. Go from 5.2 up to 5.5, and then the presentation scores 5.3 to 5.6. And that moves him into second place behind Timothy Gable from the United States. So the standings right now, Timothy Gable is out in front and going right down to Stephen Cousins in 4th place. There's Alexei Urmanov and Todd Eldridge. We have quite a battle that's going to take place. We'll be back shortly.
Figure skating starting to heat up again at Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum on Long Island. Let's go back to Peter Carruthers now live.
Thanks, Jim, and things are heating up in here, but the ice is cold and ready to go. Here's the skate order, and what a packed group of men. You can recognize all of these names looking at this order. There's Alexei Urmanov, who will finish things off, and really, it's obvious, the big comeback. He's the gold medalist from 1994. Are the after effects of that groin injury still here, Roz?
Well, this is the test, and you know, the long program is about endurance. His confidence has also taken a bit of a beating, been away out of competition. This is where he needs a solid performance, a great warm-up, and of course, Todd Eldridge, also a very solid warm-up.
Looking strong, the 96 world champion getting off the ice, Todd Eldridge, yet to come. But here's a man who has caught the attention of a lot of people in the sport of figure skating. He won the Junior Worlds in 1997. He's 15-year-old Yevgeny Plushenko from Russia. He trains with Alexei Mishin.
To start right off with the quad toe loop. Absolutely gorgeous, and he's actually wearing an athletic brace under his costume. He's had sore back. You have to wonder if all these jumps are taking such a beating on these bodies. He's just 15 years old. Where does it go from here? Triple axel was supposed to be a combination. He had a bit of a two-footed landing. Peter, it's almost like a checklist. These men just sort of tick off triple after triple.
You've got to do it. Evgeny Plushenko, coached by Alexei Mishin, and actually, he was started off by a weightlifting coach. Plushenko was. His rink closed, turned into a car dealership. So off to St. Petersburg he went to be coached by Mishin. And when Mishin got him, he said he looked like a cheap chicken. Very green, very blue, no fat, but very ecological. And look at the results.
So we just put in another triple axel combination. Definitely not a chicken.
No.
A triple Lutz, triple toe combination. You'll notice he takes time between the jumps. Set up his legs for the strength of the second jump. The triples have a little fun with the choreography in between. Putting it all together is what makes a champion. Such a Russian dominance in the men's skating. You wonder what kind of pressure that puts on Timothy Gable. Americans coming up. Or are they going to leave a window? Triple knockout.
It's really incredible to see these quads being fired off like this on such a regular basis.
The Bielman spin. He says, even with a sore back, he's going to put it in. He actually fell out of that in the short program. And this is an endurance test, and he's kept up the speed right to the very end of this program. There's the Bielman spin. Not something you usually see from a male skater.
Wow. What a men's competition we have going here at the Goodwill Games. Evgeny Plushenko, third after the short program. Let's see what that performance does to him. Alexei Mishin said at first he was a cheap chicken, but he is now a world-class athlete. We'll be back with his scores after these messages. Back at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, and Todd Eldridge getting his game face on for the men's free program. Very relaxed backstage, but very serious on the ice. There's Alexei Mishin, Evgeny Plushenko's coach.
And the quad toe, actually, you'll see here, is perfect in the air. Now watch the free leg tap into the ice. That is a cheated quad. You wonder when it happens so quick if the judges can see it.
Well, did they see it? Right now, we're looking at 5.7s and 5.8 for technical merit. The presentation score right here, 5.6 all the way up to 5.8, and that's good enough to move him into first place above Timothy Gable from the United States. Evgeny Plyuta in third. Well, now Todd Eldridge is getting ready to go. The world champion is going to give it his best shot. He's been outstanding in practices. He has been doing perfect programs. He's trained and in shape, but like Michelle Kwan, he completed 68 cities on a major exhibition tour throughout the United States, so his endurance will be tested here.
And you can just feel the energy in this building. He has learned that with his silver medal, he gained so many extra fans, the way he handled it, and he is still a fighter. He's opening his program with a triple axel, triple toe loop. They've been solid all week in practice. Perfect.
Motivated by this piece of music, first night, that had brought him so much success, he actually went back to this. This is the same program he used at the '96 World Championships to help him win.
Triple flip, triple toe. It doesn't look like the pressure. Excuse me, triple flip, double toe was planned to be a triple. So okay to play it a little safe. He needs a clean performance. There you go. There's the triple combination.
Rod, he really gutted that out, didn't he?
He did, and that is the fight in him. That is the spirit. Remember, in this free skating performance, whoever wins the free skate will win the entire competition between Eldridge, Romanov, and Plashenko. Todd is a gracious champion, as well as learning from his defeat. He actually said that every night on tour, he felt so much warmth and reception from the audiences. Triple loop, hanging on. He's mentioned that he has sort of cat feet. He has a third and a second in previous Goodwill games, and he wants to win tonight.
Wow.
And that triple axel, at this point of the program, has always been his nemesis. He missed that at the Olympics. He decided to throw it in at the end of the program, and it didn't work. Want to get through the rest of the program. This is the moment to just relax and feel it and soak it up. This is the end of the season.
I'm so proud. Todd Eldridge delivering the goods. We'll be back with his scores in just a moment. Todd Eldridge with Coach Richard Callahan. He was spot on throughout the entire free program, waiting for his marks. He said to Coach,
Triple Lutz plan. Now, he didn't plan this triple toe on the end of it. He got very close to the board, but he really fought for that landing. And the triple axel near the end of the program, always his nemesis, like I said. Perfect.
And the marks for technical merit, 9s and 8s, and a surprising 5.7 from the Russian judge. His parents looking on. Now the marks for presentation, 5.8, all the way to 5.9. He told his coach it must have been the putting backstage that did it. I think there was a lot more to it than that. Todd Eldridge nails it. And Alexei Armanov can't ignore the incredible intensity in this building right now. He is coming up later, but we just heard the announcement for Michael Weiss from the United States, who is in 5th place after the short program. Right now, Todd Eldridge is leading with Plashenko in 2nd and Timothy Gable in 3rd, but Michael Weiss, who was 7th at the Olympics, married and expecting a child in September, wants a good performance here.
And following Todd's performance and that audience reaction, as the skater right now standing on the ice, you start to soak up that energy in this building and you use it as your strength. You can't let it become pressure. He is opening with the quad toe loop.
Normally, he prefers the quadruple Lutz, but he's changed that. Now he's going for the quadruple toe looping competition. Better percentages there.
Next.
Right on.
Spot on.
And believe me, he's taking this very seriously. When asked about this particular competition, he says this is as strong as the World Championships.
Hanging on to a triple flip, and Peter, he also wants to put behind him the stakes of the Olympics.
Stakes that left him in 7th place.
Triple axel. The slow portion of the program is where you really breathe, get back the energy for the rest of the program.
considering that he made his world debut in Lausanne, Switzerland last year and placed 7th at the World Championships.
He's the heir apparent to the national title without Todd Eldridge skating, but you have to wonder, is Timothy Gable going to put the pressure on him? Nice triple sow at the end of the program here.
Because right now, Timothy Gable sits in 3rd place. Michael Weiss is in 5th after the short. Let's see what happens after this.
At the end of the program, and Peter, I guess, rubbing his wife Lisa's stomach, touching that baby for good luck. Get it tonight.
Michael Weiss from the United States with his wife Lisa standing by, soon to be a dad. And we'll be back with his scores in just a moment. Back with the men's finals, and Michael Weiss will now get his marks for technical merit, 5.3 up to 5.7.
Again, that quad was two-footed on the landing.
But his presentation scores will determine what place he is in after they post. And they are from 5.4 up to 5.7. He bumps out Timothy Gable. Michael Weiss is in 3rd place. Gable's in 4th. And Eldridge is leading with Pashenko behind him. So things really starting to heat up at this point. Now training in America since March. Some thought he was undermarked in the short program. When asked about the marks, he said, well, just kind of shrugged it off and said, people don't know me. He's Takeshi Honda from Japan, 17 years old, 15th at the Olympics. Didn't skate well in Nagano, but really started off with a bang here in the short program, hoping to carry it through to this free.
Taken no time off since the Olympics. He's continued to train, work on the jump. We saw that result in the short program. This is a brand new free program, working with the triple axel, triple toe loop. Quad planned here.
Ross, it looked like the setup wasn't good for that.
He didn't have the height either. He was getting a little close to the boards.
Speaking of close to the boards,
start choreography and training of a new program so early in the season. Takes many months to get comfortable with the pacing, figuring out where those jumps do go in relation with the choreography.
In 1996, he became the youngest male ever to win a Japanese title. He was 14 when he did that. And then he made his debut at the World Championships in 1997. with a 13th place finish.
Says this program is still a work in progress. You start with the shell first. Right now it's all about the jumps. Slowly, as Takeshi gets stronger, you start adding in more of the choreography, the little pieces in between. Solid triple loop. Into a triple Salchow. He's actually skating stronger at the end of the program than the beginning. Triple into a single. That's where Takeshi struggles with the consistency. Mistakes, and then 3 solid triples, and then again a very large mistake. So with a new program, you start somewhere and you just move up.
Well, we didn't quite see the energy here in the free program. It's Takeshi Honda that we saw in the short program that landed him in 4th place. And as Rosalind mentioned, it is a new program, so it does take time to develop that. Takeshi Honda from Japan, 4th after the short program. We'll be back with his scores in just a moment. Takeshi Honda with his coach, Nevskaya, who trains him in Simsbury, Connecticut. The technical merit scores, 4.8 up to 5.3. And now the presentation scores from 4.7 up to 5.6. That leaves him in 5th place, with Eldridge still way out in front in 1st place. So Takeshi Honda is now sure of one thing. Alexei Urmanov has got to skate, and Urmanov, with his coach Alexei Mishin, a few last-minute words on encouragement. And you can really say this is a test for Urmanov, where he did withdraw from the Worlds in '97. The groin pull that kept him out of the Olympics has since healed. He says he's not in Olympic form. He hasn't ruled out competing in the next Olympics. He's just taking it one day at a time. '94 Olympic gold medalist Alexei Urmanov from St. Petersburg, Russia, 25 years old.
Also going to have to take this program one step at a time. He has 8 triples planned. with the triple flip.
Wow. Roz, his technique is perfect on the jumps.
That is what we call textbook. Light and effortless. Now the triple axel.
Wow.
Oh, triple toe combination. If he's nervous or has lost any confidence, it is not showing.
And again, I want to emphasize, whoever wins this free skating performance between Eldridge, Romanov, and Plushenko, they are the champion. Of that injury. Fantastic triple axel.
Triple Lutz, he turned it into a double.
Said he was definitely nervous about his return to competition, but then he said, well, the practices have all gone so well that maybe things are going to go well for him here, and so far, that is the case.
Back-to-back triple loop, triple toe loop. This is also a very different style for Urmanov. We're used to seeing a much more classical ballet feeling from him. He seems to showcase his strength.
And remember, he used to skate with the gloves. Those are since gone.
Arabian butterfly.
Alexei Urmanov, second after the short program, has now completed his free program. Looking on, Todd Eldridge. The injury that kept him out of the '94 Olympics appears to have healed. You can say he's back, not an aggressive program, but certainly one that he did just get through.
And nobody but the athlete knows inside how hard that is and what an accomplishment that is.
Some fans had yelled out, "We miss you," and he said, "I missed me."
Well, he didn't miss anything on this triple axel. That was so high, right into a triple toe.
Picking up the flowers. This is really an accomplishment for him just to get back into the international arena again, both physically and mentally, Rosalind.
He didn't quite get the audience reaction of Todd Eldridge, and you always wonder how much that will affect his scores. Were the judges moved by that?
So the scores for technical merit. He's not even in the seat to take the scores. 5.6 to 5.8. The next scores will determine who the champion is, but they will be the presentation. Here they are. Oh, very solid. All 8s and 9s. But not enough. All 2nds and 1/3. So Alexei Urmanov will settle for the silver medal. The champion of these Goodwill Games is Todd Eldridge, with Alexei Urmanov from Russia in 2nd. Evgeny Plushenko in 3rd, with Michael Weiss in 4th. There's a look at the final results. And Timmy Gable with his quad in 5th place. Michael Weiss, of course, 4th. All the way down to Stephen Cousins in 9th. Alice Cook is with someone who's got to be extremely excited at this point. Alice?
Okay, Peter, Todd, it's been such a long season, but you're on such a roll. Are you sure you want to take a vacation?
Yeah, for sure. No, I had a great time tonight, and you know, I just thought of it as my 70th show on my tour, and went out there, and it just felt really good. It felt really good tonight.
What was the atmosphere like? It seemed electric.
Oh, you know, the crowd tonight was just fantastic, and you know, to have the crowd behind you like that when you're going through the program just kind of lifts you up and helps you through it a little bit more.
What challenges lie ahead for you now in your skating?
All kinds of stuff. You know, I've got a lot of new competitions next year, some new people to compete against, so, well, old faces, but, you know, new ones for me for a little while, and I'm looking forward to it.
You won't change your mind about not competing in the U.S. Nationals?
No.
Okay, congratulations.
Thanks.
Back to you, Peter.
This guy is so far away from retirement, it's not even funny. Todd Eldridge, look at that. What a moment, Roz.
What a feeling. There's nothing like being at the end of the program, pumping your fist into the air, and knowing you couldn't do any better.
Well, Michelle Kwan, the First Lady of Figure Skating, takes the ice tomorrow night. Join us for the conclusion of the ladies' figure skating competition. Now, let's return you to our host in New York, Jim Huber.